one game away. Blow up. We're playing for something, man. We're playing for something. This gotta mean something to you. It gotta mean something. Everything you got. Let's finish this.
Do it, fellas.
Let's go.
Let's do it, fellas.
Finish 2, 3. 1, 2, 3.
Finish.
How the fuck I pay a couple card notes and ain't even whipping? How the fuck I'm putting food on the table while I ain't living? Cursed from being alone with these dreams of a happy home. So when I think it's really love, I give them anything they want. I got stupid shit I did as a kid defining me lately. When I try to open up a new chapter, they still hate me. My mental, my only drug, so I'm doing this shit alone. Last time I fought depression and she got me on my zone. One bad move for thuggery, hit record from luxury. Pop said some shit that stuck with me. All it take is a mustard seed. Yesterday I caught $40 a pot those. Homie and
Well, Dak, here's the deal. I'm the best there is, plain and simple. I mean, I wake up in the morning, I piss excellence, and nobody can hang with my stuff. I'm just a big, hairy American winning machine. If you ain't first, you're last.
Yo, I didn't know what this episode was. I'm still sick, yo. Still very much sick. Very sick. But yo, I wasn't too sure what this episode was gonna be. I didn't know if this was gonna be the baseball. But then I saw something today. I actually saw it yesterday. I didn't pay it too much attention till today because I felt some way about it yesterday, but I didn't really have the time to sit down and think about it. And then today I did have the time to look at it again and sit down and think about it and to read the thing and see the clip and hear what was exactly said. And I'm talking about the Karl Anthony Towns basically for some odd fucking reason calling out his teammate Anthony Edwards in the media for some reason, just randomly. He said, he don't like that Anthony Edwards talk and laugh about, they might think it's funny him talking about eating Popeyes and shit, but he don't think that it's funny and maybe he can help him eat better. He a top athlete, yada, yada, yada. And I'm like, well, what the fuck is wrong with this dude? Like, yo, if you listen to me, you already know I feel a certain type of way about Karl. I done felt a certain type of way about Karl for a long time. But now I kind of think Karl has been very delusional after winning that All-Star event. I can't remember what All-Star event it was in the specific year that he won that shit. But he been talking real greasy since that time without really ever proving anything. You putting up great numbers on a losing team does not matter to me. Kevin Love did the exact same thing on a losing team. So that doesn't matter to me. Plus, you a big man who can't play defense. Like, you're not a good defender whatsoever. And so, but that's neither here nor there. To make that comment to the media, for one, unwarranted. Two, like, bro, you're not Buddy's pops. Like, it's just, and one of my biggest problems with Karl saying this is, my G, you just started winning when Ant got there. It'd be a whole different story if you been winning way before Ant got there, my guy. You won when Jimmy Butler was there, and now you won again when Anthony Edwards got there. It is not a coincidence that when they just have you, they cannot win. But when they add two actual great players, alpha male NBA type players, in a Jimmy Butler and an Anthony Edwards, the team is actually a competitive team. That's no coincidence. So it'd be one thing if Karl Anthony Towns had this Timberwolves team as a stud team on a yearly basis. Then I would understand that, because then Anthony Edwards would be coming into his team that he already has. But that'd be, I still wouldn't like that he called his teammate out, but I would understand it a little bit more. My G, you just started winning because Anthony Edwards got there. And you had some bad games in the playoffs last year, my boy. You had games where you had more fouls than points. Like, what are we doing right now? How is and they had just lost to the Spurs, so he probably embarrassed or whatnot, but your first thing that you decide to do is call out Anthony Edwards. What sense does that make? Like I said, I don't understand this leadership tactic or this new leadership shit that this dude is on, because calling out your teammate is whack in any type of way, shape, or form, because you can do that shit in the locker room. The fact that you so mad and you feel like you got something to say about your teammate, but you couldn't tell him that or her that in the locker room, but you feel like you got the gall to say it to the media, that's weak, for one. That's some hating shit. I'm about to speak on Aaron Rodgers doing that shit. But to continue, but to do what this motherfucker just did, to actually say this motherfucker's name and bring it like unwarranted. And like I said, bro, you're not a winner. You're not a winner. They brought 2 winners there and y'all won. Like, it's not the same. So I'm very confused. Like, somebody got to sit down in the Timberwolves organization. Bro, you remember if you looked at some of my playoff videos last year, which was some fire ass playoff videos. I can't wait till playoff season start again in the NBA coming up. But because I was releasing a lot of videos during that time frame. I'm gonna try to be like that for the NFL this year. But I spoke on how Karl Anthony Towns had an interview after one of the games they had against Grizzlies and how he switched up his voice and shit. It's like he tried to sound like a mixture of Kobe and LeBron. Shit was weird. Like, you knew he was putting on a front or for some weird reason. And now this, like, I'm so confused as to what this dude think a leader is. Like, my G, why would you ever think that it's okay to call out your teammate? Especially, like, I don't like it when dudes call out teammates as far as, like, don't even say them by name. Just call out the team in the media. Like, Aaron Rodgers loved doing that. I don't even like it when they do that. But when you actually start calling out people by name, like Ben Roethlisberger, now we really got a problem. We really got a problem. And my whole thing is, bruh, you calling him out about his diet, basically. For one, Karl, your body is not his body. So why are you concerned on his body? His body and whatever he eating is the reason y'all got to the playoffs last year. And it's probably the reason y'all have these expectations this year. You are not the reason people think the Timberwolves are going to be good. You are a part of the reason. The biggest reason is not you. It wasn't you when Jimmy was there, and it ain't you now that Ant is there. So this fact that Ant should be calling your ass out in the playoffs after last year. You didn't show up. Ant had bangers. Your ass was fouling out of game. So bro, you're not the leader of this team anymore, bro. Like, I can see that Karl Anthony Towns is not going to be a Timberwolf for too much longer. It's no way. It's no way. Because if he truly believed that he is the leader of this team, he's delusional. You're the leader off of the back of Anthony Edwards? Like, because you put up these fancy numbers and shit don't mean nothing because it wasn't leading your team to true wins before. Anthony Edwards' production is what got this team to where it is at. Anthony Edwards' presence is what got this team to where it's at. I don't see the others on the Grizzlies talking about they the faces and they the leaders of the team over Ja Morant. But that's exactly what's happening right now with the Timberwolves. It's a non-understanding or a misunderstanding of who the true leader on this team is. And y'all know I feel a certain type of way about dudes walking around calling themselves alpha males and shit. But this is in a certain context. The alpha on that team is not Karl Anthony Towns. Because your words and how you feel like you carry yourself ain't always what make you the alpha. It's also got to do a lot with production, my G. Anthony Edwards showed us in 1 year he was not only the best player on that team, he was the most productive player on that team, and the reason the team got to where they were at. So this calling Anthony Edwards, and it's not even just that it's Anthony Edwards. See, I would have had a bigger problem if he had called out one of the backup players, like somebody who really shouldn't, who can't defend themselves because people are always going to take the side of a star. But you call out your actual leader because it's a misunderstanding right now of who the true leader is. Kind of like the Dame Aldridge situation, where Aldridge was coming into his own finally after having Roy and all those other dudes couldn't, they got hurt. So Aldridge finally becoming the man. But then Dame Lillard come in and, I mean, bro, I'm sorry. It just is what it is. Dame is the better player, and naturally he became the face of that team. That's what's happening right now. And so I wouldn't be surprised if Karl Anthony Towns is eventually traded from this team. For one, you got Rudy Gobert. And while Rudy Gobert brings you absolutely nothing offensively in the playoffs a lot of times, and defensively he struggled also, I don't know how long you'll have Rudy, and you just paid him so. And I don't know who is trading for that contract. But I can just see them making a good trade to get rid of Karl Anthony Towns down the line, because it's no way that the Timberwolves management is happy about him calling out who they know is their best player on this team. It's no way. And the only reason he could possibly get away with it right now is because he is not as expendable as they would probably like him to be. I wouldn't even say that they would like him to be expendable yet, but he becoming more expendable, and that was saved by, see, before they held on to him because they're like, oh, he the biggest attraction we have. We don't really have much else. But the better Anthony Edwards get, the more expendable Karl Anthony Towns gets. So I feel like it's a little bit of jealousy that could be coming in. I don't even say shit like that normally, bro. But what possessed you to do this? Like, I just don't understand taking an unnecessary shot at you. Because at the end of the day, that's also what this is. Like, you criticizing your boy off. And if you felt this type of way about this, why do you not say this to him in the locker room when there's no cameras around? Why do you not say this to him over a text message, or call him, or see him outside when there's no cameras around and speak on it at some other location? Like, why do you feel like you needed to say that shit to the media? To portray yourself as some type of strict leader or some shit like that? Like, what? That's goofy to me. Like, that's goofy. And so, to me, that shit was absolutely corny. I really don't understand this dude, Karl, bro. Like, this motherfucker just, I don't know, bro. This dude weird as fuck to me. I think they should trade this motherfucker. I felt like that way before they got Anthony Edwards. But after I saw Anthony Edwards and what he can be, and then I saw how Karl Anthony Towns liked to fade away in the playoffs last year, yeah, you can lose with him. You might as well begin to find a way to learn how to win without him and try to find a way to get more shit. I'm not gonna say that, but I don't like it. And then to speak on another player who liked to throw their teammates under the bus for some odd reason, but not necessarily throw them under the bus by names. I know he did throw his receivers under the bus in the offseason. But Aaron Rodgers, bro, what's going on with the Packers? You can say what's going on with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers also, and we'll get to them in a minute. But let's talk about the Green Bay Packers, bro. What, 2 wins or 3 wins on the season? Under 500 by 2 games. It's a rough look for the Green Bay Packers right now. I told you, I expected the Packers to be bad this year. I did not expect them to win a division. I believe that I picked the Vikings to win that division, even though I did not. The Vikings were a choice only because it's hard to look at the type of talent they have on offense and be like, yeah, they're going to lose to Green Bay once again in a division where Green Bay has no weapons. That was just hard for me to fathom. But what I'm seeing from Green Bay, it's not shocking to me, and I apologize for all the sniveling and whatnot, bro. I'm still getting over this sickness. But what I'm seeing from Green Bay does not shock me. I done said it before. Devontae Adams was such a huge part of this offense, and more a part of this offense than I think people realize. And I noticed it last year, and Colin Cowherd even started to speak on it last year. Like, this offense was way too reliant on Devontae Adams to the point where if Devontae Adams missed games last year, and I know they won games, but the offense just looked so far and away different than how it looked, where you like, bro, this is an MVP quarterback. It shouldn't look this different. Not even that he's just an MVP quarterback. These dudes been on the team for a little minute for this offense to look this bad once one dude leave. Like, I understand it's not going to look how it looked with Devontae, but you didn't expect it to have the type of fall off that it has without Devontae. And so once I saw that last year, I was like, it's no shot that this Green Bay offense is going to look good coming into this season. Now, I saw people pick Green Bay to make the Super Bowl this year, and that was just insane to me because I'm like, bro, if they couldn't make it with Devontae Adams, what the fuck make y'all think they're going to make it without Devontae Adams? Like, they couldn't make it with him. How do you think they're going to make it without him? And people was talking about, oh, receivers don't make the quarterback, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, bro, I think y'all taking that a little too far. Like, this notion that quarterbacks make great receivers, to me, is starting to be overblown. It's great when a great receiver has a quarterback. Yes. But great receivers are not just made by great quarterbacks. I watched DeAndre Hopkins, Larry Fitzgerald play with lesser than quarterbacks. Steve Smith Sr. play with lesser than quarterbacks. All of those dudes is Hall of Fame players. Like, they didn't have a Hall of Fame quarterbacks throughout the majority of their careers. It's a lot of different great receivers, Hall of Fame level receivers who did not play with Hall of Fame quarterbacks or top-notch level quarterbacks throughout the majority of their careers. And you're not saying that they were any less of. You're saying that if they had a quarterback, they would have changed things. So this notion that receivers are receivers winning most of the time is dependent on, and yes, some of their stats can be a little hurt sometimes by bad quarterbacks. But for the most part, a bad quarterback going to become so heavily reliant on a great receiver that it's still not going to hurt the great receiver, because all the bad quarterbacks DeAndre Hopkins and Larry Fitzgerald played with became heavily reliant on a phenomenal receiver. So this notion that Aaron Rodgers was going to be just fine without a Davante Adams made no fucking sense to me, because for one, that is legitimately saying that if you didn't think that this team would struggle without Davante Adams, then that's clearly saying that you didn't think that they really needed Davante Adams to begin with. And that's just insane to me. When you look at I really feel like the media, the sports analysts say shit, but they don't really be watching these games. They might watch one or two games, and that's just how they base their whole notion on the team. Because it don't make sense to look at this team last 3 years. Looking at this team of how heavily Davante Adams was used in this offense and how lesser of the roles were for everybody else. It just made, especially after last year, it really made no sense to me that people thought this team would not show any type of fall off in losing Davante Adams. And I literally said Davante Adams is still going to have a great season with the Raiders, but him joining the Raiders is not going to make the Raiders a Super Bowl contending team, in my opinion. But him leaving the Packers will affect the Packers to the point where I think it's going to drastically affect the offense. Because when you have a player like Davante Adams, who is the number one receiver in the NFL, is a pristine route runner, he can do everything. When you have that type of receiver, that changes things, because a cornerback cannot have, look at the Thursday night game with the Cardinals and the Saints. DeAndre Hopkins basically won them that game because you can't guard a number one receiver one-on-one, because they always find ways to win that matchup. That's exactly what that man is. So, excuse me again for the sniveling. That's, to me, to think Davante Adams' loss, subtraction, was not going to affect this Aaron Rodgers-led offense now, made no sense. Because it wasn't an Aaron Rodgers-led offense. It was a Davante Adams-led offense. And then, now, for the people who said, well, if they lean into the running game and become more of a play-action type of offense, then I could see success. I agree with that. I knew they weren't going to do that, but I do understand why. If that's what your reasoning was for why you thought the Packers would be fine, I get that. Because when I first thought of ways that the reason I said I thought the Packers would go to the wild card and finish in second in their division was because I said they could possibly at some point in time realize we have to run the offense through our two great running backs, run a lot of play action, and make the game easier for Aaron Rodgers and these other receivers. Not necessarily for Aaron Rodgers, but for these receivers, because now they'll be working in more space and whatnot because they'll rely off of the dominance of the running game. So I got the people who thought like that. But I knew that wasn't going to happen. That's why I still chose them to finish in second. Because I don't think Matt LaFleur, as good an offensive mind as he is, I think he is a better offensive mind when it comes to the passing game. I don't think he really is brilliant as coming up with running formations, because you got two great running backs who you could build your team around. Your offense could survive. That's why I continuously say Kevin Stefanski would work wonders with this exact offensive repertoire that the Packers have, because you give him two great running backs, he gonna make magic happen. But for some reason, they're not doing that in Green Bay, and I understand why it's not happening, because Matt LaFleur isn't a running back, run game expert. That's not what he specializes in. Matt LaFleur is great at making it a passing a type attack on the And I understand a lot of people say, well, Matt LaFleur came in, he brought the better run game. Blah, blah. I think the better running game coming along with Matt LaFleur was just more of it's coincidence because it was great timing because Aaron Jones was getting better as LaFleur got there. And it helped that he did try to complement the passing game with the run game. However, Matt LaFleur's genius was how he was able to use Aaron Rodgers and Devontae Adams, which does not mean that you are a bad offensive-minded head coach or a bad head coach just because most of your success came with those two great players. Because look at the Raiders. You would say that they have Devontae Adams, a great player, and I know Derek Carr ain't no Aaron Rodgers, but he's a good player, and you would think they would be able to find some way to work dynamic wonders or whatever with those two. Nowhere near as great as the connection of Aaron Rodgers and a Devontae Adams. So you have to get, and Aaron Rodgers done given Matt LaFleur credit for. So Matt LaFleur being able to have genius and using Aaron Rodgers and Devontae Adams, you can't take that away. And also, whatever he done to bring defense to life. Now, the defense this year hasn't been as great as it's been in the past couple years with him, but, I'm not going to harp too much on that. I think my whole thing is, like, why the Packers are losing right now. Aaron Rodgers can put it on, I saw him on the Pat McAfee show today. And listen, I understand the people who say, you got to call out people here and there, teammates and whatnot. It's to help the teammate. Well, you got to know the type of teammate. For one, I don't think it's ever a good time to call out a teammate, personally. That's just me personally. It's nothing that a teammate can do to me to make me feel. It's nothing a teammate can do inside the bounds of sports and stuff. I'm not talking about like nothing crazy or illegal, which I probably still would not be talking to you about. But it's nothing that a teammate could be doing inside. Not even if he constantly coming to work fighting motherfuckers and shit. I'm not bringing that shit up to the media. Like, I'm not throwing my teammates under the bus. Like, it's no way that you getting me to criticize my teammates. Like, I was at work today, and man, I'm thinking about it. And one of my homies, me and him was on the back of a truck, and my homie walked away for a while. And now he do this all the time. Like, he'll just walk away, go to a bathroom, and chill for like 15, 20 minutes. And every dude I work with, I'll be like, yo, that's cool, because I don't be tripping on nothing like that. Like, well, I'm going to be mad because he finding a way to flex his time and I'm in the back. No, that's whack. Like, that's just whack. I don't have no hate and bone in my body. So I'm not one of them motherfuckers. Like, it's a lot of dudes in my job who be in the back of the trucks. They'll see the trainers walking around. The trainer's not supposed to be in the back of trucks, but they'll be walking around doing their job, and the people on the back of the truck will be hating. Like, man, them motherfuckers be walking around not doing nothing. I had to tell them all the time, like, bro, stop hating, bro. If you was a trainer, I wouldn't expect your ass on the back of these trucks either, and neither should you. So if you don't want to be on the back of a truck, level up like they did. It's as simple as that. But my homie left and he went to go take one of his normal little bathroom breaks. This weirdo manager who we had today, who wasn't our normal manager, bro. Our normal manager had he had the day off because he had to take care of some personal business. But we had this weirdo ass manager over there with us today, bro. And I already knew it was gonna be one of them weird days where he could send us home early and shit like that just because he wanted to get all his people he liked and knew. Because he had never worked with us before. He don't work on that side, so he wouldn't know none of us. This was simply him going to end up lucking up and getting just straight up finding people that he knew or done worked with before and sending everybody else who he never knew home, bro. And I guarantee you the side, because the side we have is a great side, right? So having his ass over there, like, I'm snitching on that pussy. Oh, my bad. I was finna snap just now. I'm not gonna lie, I was finna say something. But I'm gonna tell my manager on his pussy ass tomorrow. Like, yo, this narc motherfucker, bro, he keep making me want to say the N-word. I'm not gonna lie, the N-word continuously almost keeps slipping out, boy. I'm trying to tell you, if these cameras wasn't rolling. But yeah, he pissed me off, bro, because I knew what he was doing. He was micromanaging us. Like, we decide that don't need to be micromanaged, bro. We do our job. But for some reason, he was walking around telling people, I hope y'all work hard today. I hope y'all don't like, bro, shut the fuck up, bro. And so randomly he came to my truck with my homie, walked away because, like I said, he micromanaging everybody, bro, looking over us like he a slave master or some shit. which was already bothering me that they do weird shit like that, that he was doing weird shit like that. And this motherfucker come to me aggressively, kind of, and he like, hey, where the dude that's supposed to be in the truck with you? I look at him and I say, I don't know, couldn't tell you. And then the dude behind me was like, probably in the bathroom. Like, I don't even think the dude behind me was trying to snitch. I think he thought he was saving him by saying, like, in the bathroom. But see, I say I don't know because I don't want to put a thing on it. So when he find dude and be like, where you was at? And he say what I didn't say. And then he say, well, Buddy said that you was there. Because that's done happened before. And I done been with weak dudes who thought that I was snitching on them. When in reality, when I was trying to save them, they ended up, the dude, you know what I'm trying to say. But so I leave it a broad statement. I just tell you straight up, I don't know. Ain't that your job? Like, that's your job to be finding him. You're the manager. So you're supposed to know where he's at, not me. That's not my job. I'm not his pops. I'm not his manager. I'm not his floor manager. I'm not his trainer. I'm not none of that. That's your job. Like, why do you come up to me and you think I'm finna throw my partner under the bus? You want me to throw him under the bus so you can fuss him out about not being in the truck, so when he come back in the truck, he not gonna want to work with the kid. Stop it, bro. Stop it. He an Aaron Rodgers type. But I'm not feeling the Aaron Rodgers throwing his teammates under the bus. Like I said, I don't really think Aaron Rodgers is a great leader, but he's done this before. My whole thing with Aaron Rodgers is I understand he at the age where it's hard for him to sit back and be content with not having the greatest team around him. But to that, I would say, Aaron, you could have fucking got traded or ended up leaving. You chose to re-sign with the Packers, my boy. What did you expect? Like, you keep saying people come to Green Bay to play with you. Bro, nobody's come to Green Bay to play with you on the offensive side of the ball. Like, nobody, it's very clear to me nobody wants to sign with Green Bay. And the funniest part about this is the only dude y'all drafted, y'all ended up trading him because you still could have forced him to stay. But they wanted to be good, and I'm cool with that. Like, I'm one of them people who say if a dude no longer want to be on my team, or a woman no longer want to be on my franchise, I'm gonna find a way to trade them if they absolutely mean that they don't want to be here. Now, if it's a certain type of player, obviously I'm gonna feel a certain type of way. I'm gonna try to keep them. But if they make it very clear to me they no longer have any desire to be here, I got to get rid of them. Point blank period. I'm never going to get to where I want to go if everybody on the team not committed to being here and completing a goal with this team. It just is what it is. I see how people work when they don't want to be somewhere. And I see how people work when they do want to be somewhere. It's completely different. And so I would rather get people who want to be here than force you to be here and try to force you to get my goal completed. What I want is not what you want anymore. If we both wanted it, that's one thing. We no longer want this. So I got to try to find what's best for you, what's best for this team. So I get those type of things, but I don't even know how we got that far away. But either way, Aaron Rodgers, like, aside from the Devontae, no, who's signing with Green Bay? Even, Cleveland had better success at getting talented receivers to their team. Landry, Odell, Amari, like, Green Bay's management is terrible. Like, I already thought they were terrible. So I understood Aaron Rodgers in that aspect. Like, I don't want to just make a blanket statement saying that I think Aaron Rodgers is a bad leader. Because while I don't think he is the best leader, when I say I don't think he is, I should have said I don't think he is the greatest leader. But even then, that could sound like negative. I wouldn't want to be led by Aaron Rodgers, but I would not mind being led by somebody like Aaron Rodgers, because he just seemed like somebody who just really want to hold you accountable. But I'm somebody who also understands the situation. I think one of the things that a lot of these young Packer players could do to not get in their feelings too much about this type of thing is they got to understand Aaron. Like, young dudes want us to understand where they coming from and shit, right? But they also got to take a time out to understand where Aaron Rodgers coming from. This a dude in his 20th something season or some shit like that. He know he don't got that type of time left. He's really trying to get another Super Bowl. Like, I get it. Like, I get it. So I understand. I would understand where he coming from. Now, I would tell him, like, yo, it might happen one time, but we're not finna make a habit out of calling me out in the media. Like, bro, you can call me out behind closed doors. You can yell at me, cuss me out, fuss me out, all that type of shit. What we not gonna do is come to the media and talk and air out the grievances and things of that nature. We not finna try to critique me to the media. We not try to boost my confidence by calling me out to the media. That can't happen. That's not going to happen. That would be my only thing. But other than that, that's my whole thing. And the Packers, you know, as bad as Aaron Rodgers is as a leader to some people, and like I said, I don't think he's the greatest of leaders. It's just a type of style. I don't think Aaron Rodgers can. I do think being a more positive type of leader could have effects, but you can't force Aaron Rodgers or somebody to be a leader that they're not. One of the biggest problems is talent. This team just has no talent. I understand people like Aaron Rodgers. We know how great he is, how great he is. But at the end of the day, if you are a great defense or a defense period, when you go out there against Aaron Rodgers and the Packers on a weekly basis, who do you see across from you that brings fear into your heart now that Devontae Adams is no longer on that team? Nobody. And the running backs could, if they ran the ball consistently and they've had great games running the ball, but they're not a team that you think every week coming in there and trying to dominate you on the ground. If they did and they couldn't, I understand the Bakhtiari thing and all these different type of things they done dealt with. But however, they not looked at the team that's going to dominate you on the ground. If they were, I think teams would play a little bit different. But because they aren't, team defense is coming in against the Packers on a weekly basis saying, let's not let Aaron Rodgers dice us up or do nothing too crazy. But for the most part, none of these dudes can beat us. You know what I'm saying? They don't have a single receiver tight end that can take over a game and just put us away. I mean, it says something when the best catches of the season is coming from your running backs. So as much as I know some people like to blame Aaron Rodgers, like I said, I'm not a fan of throwing teammates under the bus. I'm never going to be a fan of that. But the Packers are just a bad team right now. I don't even think, like I saw Aaron Rodgers say he think they beating themselves. I don't think that the Packers are beating themselves. I think the Baltimore Ravens are beating themselves. I can go over multiple games with Baltimore and break down the different scenarios on how in which they beat themselves. And see, you can even do, if you one of them stat heads, you can even use the stats. Baltimore been leading double digits in every game they done played. That's not the same thing for the Packers. The Packers are a talentless offense. They are deprived of true talent that can beat guys consistently. They also are void of a leader, the type of leader that would get you through this type of situation. And I'm not blaming Aaron Rodgers for that, like I said, because I understand where he is in his career. But that's when you need your head coach to be a little bit more for you. And I love Matt LaFleur. I think Matt LaFleur is a great head coach. If he lose his job today, he will be hired somewhere else. Like, Matt LaFleur is going to be a good head coach. And I don't even think he's stupid enough to take a job that doesn't have a quarterback in place. But Matt LaFleur can only do so much of the pumping up the team on the sideline when they up. Now I need you to figure out how to pump us up when we down in these games, when we can't figure out how to move the ball consistently. Because the offense has not moved the ball consistently. The Ravens' numbers have looked bad because of more so that Ravens' offense doesn't look bad the last 2 weeks. But for the most part this season, the Ravens' offense has been fine. They find ways to beat themselves and prevent themselves from scoring. The Packers' offense don't really look good. It don't look like they move the ball like the Ravens' offense or some of these other teams that have not so great records, but we know move the ball decently. They might just be dealing with not being able to finish games and whatnot. That's not the Packers to me. The Packers just look like a team that's deprived of some talent that could use a receiver or it's a lot of different things. I don't think the Packers is really beating themselves. I think we're seeing the Packers are what they are right now. And I could be wrong. To a Packer fan, obviously I'm going to be wrong. But I know some people are going to say, oh, well, just talk about the defense. Listen, the defense, I already said it. It's not as great as it was last year. But I don't think it's as bad as people make it out to be. I think anytime you have a defense that's on the field as much as it is and is consistently dealing with an offense that struggle to score or can't score, like the Packers offense so far this year, It's the type of results you're going to get sometimes. It's hard to ask a defense to be as perfect as it was the year before every year, because naturally you always take a step back as a unit when you add new pieces, lose new pieces, injured players come back and try to recoup, and all those different type of things. Dallas is a team that's coming back healthy. And matter of fact, no, they play you can't expect Green Bay's defense to be Dallas's defense, is basically what I'm saying. Like, people basically saying, yo, Green Bay's defense need to go out there and look like Dallas's defense. Like, stop it. Also, Green Bay has Buffalo coming up, and I do think they're going to lose that game also, because I just don't think they'll be able to keep up scoring-wise with Josh Allen. I think the type of you might see them have one game where they can figure out how to put it all together and put together a perfect game plan. But it's just so hard to ask for a perfect game plan to be put together on a week-to-week basis in the NFL, where you have teams that are already great scoring who just continuously trying to refine ways to score or to clean up their act so they can make sure they don't beat themselves. I don't think Green Bay is at the level where they beating themselves yet. I think Green Bay is below that, where they're not good enough. But that's just me. Who knows? Blame Aaron Rodgers. But with that, I appreciate you for joining me on another episode of Kicking It with Saint. Listen, bro. Stop throwing y'all teammates under the bus, man. That's whack. You literally can handle these things behind the scenes. Makes absolutely no sense to throw your teammates under the bus and have a discussion with the media, who can make up all types of stories and assumptions, bro. And then Cat will be mad if they turn around and like, oh, Cat and Karl and Ant's relationship ain't the best. Well, yeah, the motherfucker threw him under the bus about him eating Popeyes, bro. Like he his dad or something. Like he my training coach or something. Stop it. But yo, I appreciate you for joining me. Tell somebody you fuck with him. Tell somebody you love him. Give my Duke's kiss on the cheek for me. Saying out.
I got the moves like hot sauce. Lil' mama taking the top off. I'm laying down getting topped off. After this, you know she getting knocked off. I know she loving the money, so I keep on thumbing and thumbing. She say she horny when she taking shots, so I keep them coming and coming. Now I'm putting dick in her tummy. Scoop her up like I'm raking her something. You would think shawty red track, the way that she running and running. You getting dumber and dumber. You out here chasing the bone. After she finished from giving me dome, the Uber is taking her home. Tight.